to all our future judges. In this video, we are going to see the tips and steps for translation in judicial exams. And these steps and the tips which are given would be applicable to the judicial exams all over India because the aspects which are discussed are general aspects. And those who are watching this video for the first time or those who are visiting this channel for the first time, please don't forget to subscribe the channel if you like the videos and press the thumbs up button if you like the videos and share it with your friends who would be in need of such videos. Translation should generally include two aspects. One is the translation of each and every word of the text, or you can simply call it as word or text based translation. And the second is context based translation, wherein each and every context has to be taken into consideration before translation. In case of word or text translation, each and every word is translated. Now, coming to the steps. The first step is you need to read the entire text which is given for translation. You need to read from the beginning till the end of the text only once, and that too with 100% attention, because this will save your time. In exams, there is a good possibility that you could lose your time while translating. And next thing is, while reading for the first time itself, you need to underline the words or sentences which you do not understand. And after completion of reading the entire text, then you need to come back and read the words or sentences which you have underlined, that is the sentences or the words which you did not understand for a second time, and try to understand again. Still, if you don't understand, you can move to the next step. Step 2 is to understand the entire idea of the text. They would have given you a passage or a paragraph. So in that, you need to understand the entire idea which is said in the para or passage. For example, a plaint could have been given for translation, an argument could have been given for translation, a cross-examination could be given for translation. It could be anything which is generally used in a court. In that case, you need to understand the entire idea of the passage which is given. So, you need to combine these words or sentences which you did not understand with the words or sentences prior to the particular word or sentence which you do not understand, or subsequent to the word or sentence which you do not understand. You need to combine the words or sentences which you did not understand with the words or sentences which you understand, so that you get a combined idea of what those two sentences or words convey. And then you need to get the entire idea of the text you have read. Step 3. You need to classify the category of the text. For example, when a doctor is being cross-examined in case of death or in case of brutal murder with weapons. So in all these cases, generally a doctor would be cross-examined. And in case of sexual offences also, there is a possibility that a doctor could be examined. In all these cases, there may be so many technical, medical terms which could be used. So you need to know the translation of these medical terms. And in case, if there is a case pertaining to construction related aspects, where there could be many engineering terms. For example, imagine a place where the construction is not done in a proper manner and the case has been filed in this regard. So in that case, you need to know the engineering terms as well. That passage could be given for you to translate. So in that case, you need to know what is the engineering term which is used, what is the exact translation of that particular word. Next is pleadings or complaint. Generally, pleadings or complaint could contain certain legal terms. Those terms which are generally used in court, which general public do not use, or which they use very rarely. So you need to know the translation of these words as well. So these examples will give you an idea as to how you can categorize the text which is given to you. Next is, you need to list out the technical terms used in the passage and try to translate them separately. To put it simply, you need to write these technical terms separately and try to translate them word by word. So that when you frame the sentence, it will be easy for you to frame the sentence since you have a ready-made translated words with you. That will help you to get a perfect translation. And in case if there are some technical terms which you don't know how to translate, there may be some terms which you don't know what is the exact translation. In that case, for that word which you don't know or for the word which you cannot translate, you can find a synonym of that word and try to translate that synonym and use that instead of the exact translation of the word, so that it could help you in translation of the entire sentence. Step 4. You need to identify the words which could have dual sense or meaning. You need to write down the words which could have two meaning or different meaning in different contexts. For example, the word state in English could mean you try to say something, you want to state something. The other meaning could be you are trying to explain or tell the position of a thing or a person. For example, he was in a terrible state. Here, you try to explain his position. And the next could be state of Madhya Pradesh, state of Punjab, state of Tamil Nadu. It could be referring to a state inside the country of India. And you need to ensure that the exact sense you get when you try to translate the particular word. You need to know what the word tries to explain in this particular context. Then you need to translate the said word. Step 5. This is consolidation and final translation. Now what you have to do is, now that you have translated the technical words, the words which are dual sense or dual meaning, and certain grammatical aspects which generally anyone would know. In addition to this, you have got the meaning of the entire context of the passage. So now what you have to do is you have to consolidate all these steps and you need to go for the final translation. You need to translate sentence by sentence using the output you derived from the previous steps. After translating a sentence, read the original sentence and the translated sentence and check for any errors. If there are any errors, you can correct it immediately. Then after doing it sentence by sentence, when you have completed the entire text, when you have translated the entire text, read the entire translated text only once, because the reason is already you have corrected sentences. So the possibility that something could go wrong is very negligible. But you need to read it once with thorough attention to check for any minor errors which could have crept in by mistake. So this could help you in finalizing the translation in a perfect manner. There are some important tips for translation. Translation will not come within a day. So you need to practice translating consistently. It is very important. You need to practice on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, or a monthly basis, depending on the time you have. Next is you need to learn the technical words which are used in the code and try to translate them. The next aspect is you need to note down the synonyms and antonyms of each word you study. If you are trying to get the meaning of a word, that is not sufficient. You need to know what are the synonyms of that word. This could very well help you when you are trying to translate a word which you don't know actually. Then, as I explained in the previous steps, you can try to find out the synonym of that word and then try to translate the synonym. That could at least help you get through. And you need to know the antonyms as well. Sometimes these antonyms could help you get the synonyms. So that could also help in one way. And next is when you attend the court, you always keep a note in your hand and start noting down the words used by the parties, judge or the advocates. You can note down these words and try to translate these words, because almost in all of the judicial exams, they ask or they give passages with words used by the parties, judge or advocates. So that would really help you to translate. And you always try to translate the case related papers which you have. Or if you are a junior, you could try to translate the papers in the case bundle of your senior. In the long run, translation will be just like that. It will be that easy for you when you do this. And try to learn the grammar of both the languages. Imagine you are translating from English to your regional language. In that case, you need to understand the grammar of English as well as the regional language in which you are translating. And that is very important. And the next thing is, you need to write regularly. Because nowadays, generally we don't write. We start typing in our system. And unless you practice in writing, it will be difficult for you to write in the exam within a short span of time. So, the 7th point is, you need to practice writing, handwriting. And the very important thing is you ensure that you have a clean handwriting. It will help the examiner in correcting your paper easily. If you like the video, don't forget to subscribe the channel and press the thumbs up button if you like the video. If you feel that I've left something in this video, or if you want me to put a video on some other subject, please do post it in the comment. I'll try to post a video on that subject as well. Do share this video with your friends and help them to come up in their life. Let us join hands together and contribute for a learned society. Thank you.